Yeah, let's stick with the markets, where the South Africa's Minister of Finance, Enoch Godongwana, has outlined how the financial services sector optimized gains while minimizing disruptions. Now, the finance chief was speaking midweek as a special guest at the two-day governance conference of the Financial Services Conduct Authority, or the FSCA.
With the correct policies and with ongoing cooperation between the public and private sectors, I'm confident that we can help turn the South African and the continental economy around, see investment levels rise, and begin to create the jobs needed to reduce unemployment. The imperative to facilitate growth has become ever more important. The unprecedented circumstances we face today demands that the sector helps the country to meet the demands of the moment. So the imperative to facilitate growth has become ever more important. The unprecedented circumstances we face today demands that the sector helps the country to meet the demands of the moment, sustainable, so that we all can enjoy a lifetime of better opportunities. In this context, it is worth reflecting why we have regulations. Too often, the public discourse presumes that financial institutions have their own funds rather than being the custodian of the public's money. This means stock funds, small businesses, pensioners, ordinary people's savings, and for their children. And even to send them to university, they put all of those savings into your institutions. That money belongs to the public. It does not belong to you. A convert to this argument is my deputy minister. He is now the chair of the pension fund, the chair of the Public Investment Corporation. Whenever we talk about using the funds, the Public Investment Corporation, he always warns us, that's the pensioners' money. So that's the critical message we're sending to you today, is that you have got a huge responsibility to protect those investments of poor communities. We were discussing with the Prudential Authority the other day about some small bank, I don't want to name it. There's too many political pressure about it. So she says to me, Minister, let's talk to you. Today we're talking about a different act, the Banks Act. The Banks Act says you are a custodian of depositors. Put your fiscal head aside. You are a custodian of depositors. So in a sense, I'm also saying, in one way or the other, I may put all other demands on you as politicians do, but I'm a custodian of depositors, of the people who put the money with you. I must not forget that responsibility. But as I have said, regulations are necessary to protect that. But regulations need to be adjusted from time to time to meet certain conditions. I'm not a fan of regulations, to be honest. I'm not a fan of regulations. You must regulate to the extent that is necessary. Let me give you an example. Last year, we had a problem with spaza shops. We decided to regulate spaza shop, and we went overboard. We said people must do all 1,001 other things. You must rezone, you must do this. Somebody who's selling acha in her dining room, she must rezone. What has been the effect of it is that people simply did not register. For a number of reasons, because go to the municipalities and filling all this paperwork and rezoning and so on is not worth their while. In the process, they lost their income. What was the purpose of regulation? We lost focus of that. What was the purpose of regulation? It was simple, that they must provide health and clean food to communities. Simple. That was the purpose of regulation. But when everything else and put some regulations which became unnecessary, in fact, it became a hindrance. I'm saying we must regulate to the extent that is necessary. A fit-for-purpose market conduct framework in South Africa must ensure that financial institutions, from banks to insurance companies and investment firms, operate in a manner that protects consumers, promotes fair competition, and strengthens economic resilience. To achieve this, a few critical pillars needed to underpin our approach to market conduct. These pillars inform the regulatory architecture we have implemented through the Twin Peaks, which created a dedicated market conduct regulator in addition to a prudential regulator. The environment, which will be further strengthened through the Conduct of Financial Institutions Bill to be introduced in Parliament soon. I'll talk about these pillars later. I want to paraphrase, to come and be brief, because I'm told I must be as short as possible so that you find time to ask me questions. To ask me questions, so I want to afford you that opportunity. I must afford you that opportunity. So market conduct regulation is not a hindrance to the financial sector on its own. It is the foundation upon which a sustainable, trustworthy, and resilient financial system is built. It protects consumers, fosters trust, encourages fairness, mitigates risks, and strengthens global stability. Those are some of the pillars we've mentioned earlier. As policymakers, industry leaders, and regulators, we must continuously advocate for a robust and adaptive regulatory frameworks that evolve with the ever-changing financial landscape. Indeed, this is the most transformational reform we can implement. If we succeed, many ordinary South Africans will be able to purchase assets necessary to prosper, like a family home, and will do so in a fair manner. Let us work together to uphold higher standards of integrity in the financial sector, ensuring that it serves not only the interests of business, but also the broader economy and society as a whole.